Butcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best.
Well, it's that time of season where the stakes are a little higher for a lot of things. And what I work hard at, Judy, is helping especially the kids become a pressure player. I so want them to have the image that I'm a pressure player, even if they don't have it right now. But if they'll see themselves there, it's kind of give me the last ball, or, you know, when it really means something to me, I rise to the occasion and meet the challenge and succeed. And you can build that. You can create it. You know, imagery is so powerful, and I just think it's so important.
Yeah, I think, and we've talked about a lot of these different concepts that are going to come up here as we chat, because my head's going through things we've talked about. But I know people avoid the pressure stuff because it's not comfortable, and we know that comfortable isn't necessarily correlated to performance. I do think pressure and knowing that you can shoot under pressure is really, really important, right?
Right. And so, you know, what do you do in practice? It's always said, you know, I can't create the same pressures in the performance. It's not necessary to do that. We've done the research because the patterns will still emerge. So the thing that's important, I think, is lots of scoring in practice. And I mean tough scoring. So it's not like when I hit 7 good ones or whatever, then I'm done. No, you get 10 and you got to hit 7 out of 10 the way you want to shoot them, or whatever it happens to be, as tough as we can make it. And scoring, and we always talk about stories, you know, as scenarios. The more you practice those, you're practicing patterning the brain so that it is successful in those situations. And you have lots of experience, I know, from all the Olympic trials, etc., because you were always the pressure performer.
I was, but I learned the hard way. I think back to the Olympic trials in 1984, and you know, I was battling a lot of stuff when I went, but after the first day I was in first place. And so, wow, I'm in first place. But back in that day, we didn't have some of the knowledge we have and some of the research we have. And the round was different. It didn't pit you against somebody in a match. It was more of the long march. Can I stay points ahead? And when I look back on it now, I know that I got ahead on that first day, and I thought, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so now I don't think I use those words or anything, but yeah, now I can just coast because I got this lead. And the reality is that mindset of coasting, it's not a good one.
You're going backwards.
You always want to be collecting more points. You always want to be getting more. And I know when I'm at my best, I'm always looking for more.
Correct. Our system is made to be going after something, and we call it maintain, protect. And you know, if you get in that mindset, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to be going backwards, because there is no maintain, so to speak. You know, there's only what's in front of you and going forward. So.
And if you're not going forward,
yeah,
you're probably going backwards, because there really is no such thing as standing still.
And you've got some interesting, you know, practices, I know, for your players where they can do it themselves on their own, but against somebody they'd really like to beat.
Yeah, sure. So part of that is creating the scenario in your head that you're shooting a match against this person who, for whatever reason, I really want to beat, either because they're ahead of me, because they'd be a great one to beat, or because they've irritated me, or because I'm tired of getting beat by them, right? There's all kinds of reasons that would go into that. And so in those type of simulation matches, I really want them to think about that person and why they want to beat them and how badly they want to beat them in that moment. And then we create the scenarios where the pressure is intense, one arrow at a time. They shoot an arrow, and then I have a system for them that they see what the other person shot. And using real scores from real tournaments, they get a sense of what a pattern might be for the other shooter, and then how they can push forward and beat them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, today with phones and all the things you can look up, I mean, they're all right there. There's lots of scores on there. So, it can be hole by hole or whatever you want. And, you play and then you look it up and see where you stand. And I just think the more we can create some of that, and they're games, they're fun, they're exciting. That's how we want our pressure players looking at pressure. That's what I compete for. That's why I enter a tournament or whatever. Or like you give the good example of, it's your personal best. It's right there in front of you. Are you just gonna maintain and hope and pray you hang on to it, or are you gonna excel past your personal best?
Right. It's sort of like building those. I'm sure in golf you do last hole.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do last end, last 6 arrows or whatever.
Or last shot.
And you kind of create that. Here's your, and sometimes I make it so they're really going to have to push to get it.
Yeah.
And other times I make it so that really if you only shoot an X, you're going to get a personal best, right?
Right.
Whatever score that would be. And it's easy. And it's amazing what the mind starts to do when you think you can coast into it.
Yeah, that efficiency. The system's made to let down whenever it can and save for the future. And if you don't ask for it, it's probably not going to give it to you.
So I think the good news is I do hear more from the athletes we coach that they recognize that that score needs to be a part of their practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're making progress. It's just
Right.
when you see yourself thinking, I don't want to put that pressure on today, just understand how important that pressure is for your performance going forward.
Yep, enjoy.